Tonight on CTV News, Sumner residents finally get a better view and there's not a container in sight. The first eco-friendly house in New Zealand is shown off in Christchurch, and we showcase some of New Zealand's best photos.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, streaming live every night at ctv.co.nz. Police are appealing for information after a hit and run outside the Wainoni Pack and Save last night. Police are looking for the driver of a black Toyota which collided with a cyclist between 9 and 10 last night. The driver knocked the man off his bike and ran over his leg, causing significant injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Shipping containers protecting Sumner from rock slips are being taken away more than 4 years on from the earthquakes. And now the council says the area is safe. The first containers will be moved next week.
They've been placed along this stretch of Sumner Road since the earthquakes. Now it's time to say goodbye. Nearly 100 metres of shipping containers placed at a section of Heberdean Avenue after the February 2011 quake will start to be removed for good at the start of next week. Recently, work had been done to reassess the land, with this area of Sumner Road seeing no rockfall or debris. Sarah enforced what's known by many Cantabrians as a Section 45, restricting areas due to hazards, using the containers to protect road users from potential rockfalls and debris from the cliff face. The Christchurch City Council says the risk to life for commuters along the avenue is now less than 1 in 10,000 every year. The shipping containers will now be replaced with fencing. However, 3 other locations around Sumner will still see the steel structures for some time yet. Containers along Main Road to Shag Rock Reserve will still stay until homes on red zone land are cleared, and for Skirt to inspect wastewater pipes and manholes. The Wakefield Avenue containers will remain in place due to high levels of rockfall and cliff collapses, and Main Road to Moa Bone Point will still stay due to safety risks.
It's the first eco-friendly house to be built in New Zealand, and believe it or not, it's only slightly more expensive than a conventional home. Here's Chelsea Daniels.
Christchurch has the first home to achieve a 10 Homestar build rating in New Zealand, with developers now urging more people to build sustainable homes. The home received the rating in May this year, reaching a 10 out of 10 rating for its health, comfort and efficiency.
New Zealand's first 10-star home. So yeah, really excited to be the first, and it's really good to have so much interest and enthusiasm around it and see that it's really starting to sort of click with people, the fact that we need better energy efficient houses.
It takes into account energy, water, waste, ventilation, health and comfort, and other environmental factors at both the design and build stages. The Christchurch home leads another 200 Homestar rated projects being built around the country.
Christchurch and South Island could benefit more because we're in a colder climate from having a warm home and more energy efficient home. So we probably have higher power bills than people up north.
Christchurch-based architectural designer Bob Burnett says that everyone who's looking to build a new home should strive for the rating, but is it an affordable option?
Yeah, it is a myth that it's too expensive, and that's probably the main hurdle for people. They think, okay, we'll just do a code minimum house because we can't afford to do a better quality house. And I actually think if you're clever about it and you use the correct design and building methodologies, it doesn't cost any more at all to get to a reasonable standard like a 6.
Living in a house like this one is now within our reach, with the cost of this home sitting at around about $400,000. And it could save you a pretty penny as well, with 0 power bills. But what other hidden aspects should we be thinking about?
Obviously, the idea of having no power bill is pretty popular, but that, other than the financial aspect, the thing is we have a real health issue in New Zealand with unhealthy homes, and I think that's something that's underestimated. A house has an effect on your health. And if we all lived in healthy homes, there'd be 30% less hospital admissions for people with asthma and respiratory disorders.
Bob says to achieve a 10 Homestar rating house, you'd be looking at spending an extra 10% on standard building costs. But to achieve an above standard 6 or 7 star rating, it's even less.
You don't need to get a 10-star. I reckon 6 or a 7 is probably a good target, and then your power bill might be around about half what it would normally be. And that only costs 2% more to get to that level.
He's a part of the super home movement, which promotes building affordable green homes and debunking the idea that being sustainable is too far out of the average price range.
And as they become more mainstream, then they become cheaper, because when something's new, it's always more expensive, when something's innovative. But once it becomes common, it becomes cheaper.
A second 10 home-star rating house is set to be finished by the end of this month, right next door, with the 2 demonstration homes creating the benchmark for future housing in Canterbury.
I guess the other aspects to this home, other than just energy and design, it's more earthquake resilient. So we're thinking about resilience and durability as part of the super home movement as well as the green initiatives.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Well, they've been at Arana Park for nearly a month, but nothing beats a Christchurch man's contribution to the new Great Ape Centre. He's been working hard to raise as much money as he possibly can for Canterbury's new arrivals, and his fundraising efforts haven't stopped. Here's Jared McCulloch.
How old are you, Sean?
31.
31. And how long have you liked gorillas for?
When I was about 15.
Meet Sean. He's gorilla mad and calls himself a zoo researcher, and he's got the business cards to prove it. He's a man on a mission. The country's first ever gorilla enclosure opened to the public last month at Arana Wildlife Park, and he received an invitation to go and meet the 3 new apes. And he also had a gift for the centre.
Our thanks to Sean Collins, a passionate gorilla enthusiast who raised $600 for our Great Ape Centre.
So my aim would be to raise money for them.
Sean has Down syndrome and a heart condition as well, but that hasn't stopped him. He's been to parts of Australia and the United States, travelling to zoos to see a number of the great apes. But when he heard Arana was expecting 3 new residents to their park, he got to work.
I done gorillas in disguise. I sold baking. I done some christenings.
The whole time I've worked here with Sean for 10 years now, he's been a real enthusiast with gorillas.
He even made his own concept designs for what the enclosure should look like.
That's what all those models were for, and his brain was to actually go the whole distance and create from the ground up, something quite physical. But he, sort of had to teach that, you need like $1 million or something to pull that off.
He decided to fundraise and give to the charitable trust, but he's not stopping yet. Sean is continuing on his fundraising venture.
I won't make any more christenings if I want to make more rugs.
More rugs?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And how long does it take you to make rugs? Because it looks like there's a lot of time that goes into them.
They take ages to do.
Whether it's $30, $50 with his baking, or right, this is the week we're going to do a disco or not, or there's something always in the near future for him to be putting his effort to.
He's also working on making scarves, sticking pictures of gorillas on them as well. Earlier I mentioned Sean is a zoo researcher. Well, he's got folders upon folders of profile sheets about gorillas around the world.
This one here is for Mungo Zoo, and this one here is for Tauranga Zoo.
His next goal is to travel to Germany, but his health could make it tricky.
Big fat risk management plan would need to be written up to help Sean out, and we would just hope that it would happen. And yeah, it's definitely not a no, I would never say that.
But for now, he's not letting anything get in his way. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
And still with gorillas, on a different note though, a man has been banned from Arana Park for upsetting its gorillas. The man was banned from the park after repeatedly beating his chest and mimicking the animals in front of their enclosure. The park says 2 of the gorillas became agitated and charged at reinforced glass. The park said the man had upset other animals and he has not been given his refund on his annual pass. Well, still to come here on CTV News, streaming live at ctv.co.nz, sport and the all-important regional weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. There's a new proposal to allow freedom campers to stay in most places around Christchurch, but it does come with conditions. And for the next month, the public is to have its say.
The public can now have its say on the future of freedom camping. The Christchurch City Council has taken a softly approach to freedom camping so far, but now has a set of proposals for a new bylaw. Over the summer, there were concerns from some beachside residents about the amount of tourists parking up on the city's New Brighton Coast car parks. However, the council was also mindful of the number of locals who live in their vehicles, still displaced after the earthquakes, who parked here too, as well as in areas of the red zone. A number of rebuild workers who can't find affordable accommodation live in vehicles and need somewhere to park up. Tourists also hit Akaroa and parts of Banks Peninsula, which are areas also included in the proposals. The council now plans to prohibit some areas, restrict some areas to vehicles with wastewater systems, limit other areas to short stays only, and open up other areas without restriction. Public submissions open next week and people have until the 21st of September to have their views. The council says it's open to submissions from anyone, including those from overseas working on the rebuild who are freedom campers. This also includes tourists from other places in New Zealand or overseas. The council is also holding a series of drop-in sessions over the next month. Contact the council for more information.
They're considered some of the best photographers in New Zealand, and now their work is open for the public to see. Gordon Finlater reports.
You may have noticed this addition to the central city. It's the new public outdoor exhibition for the 2015 New Zealand Geographic Photographer of the Year competition. The free exhibition allows passers-by the chance to see work from the top 27 photographers in the country. As well as having the overall winner, winners will be named in a number of different categories.
So the categories are pretty broad. We've got wildlife, which is exactly as what you would imagine it to be. We have landscape, we have society and culture, we have photo story, which is about having 6 images that work together to tell a wider story. And this year we've got a new one called time lapse, which is shots of stars twirling overhead, and we had the glowworm caves all shot in time lapse, the moon, super moon rising over Mount Victoria in time lapse. And so that's an entirely new category, but still using a digital SLR, still using a regular stills camera to capture it.
With close to 6,000 entrants for this year, narrowing the country's top geographic photographers down to a finals list of 29 is a tough job for judges.
It's a lot of hard graft for judges, and we go through it all, every single picture, look at all of them, discuss each of them, how the lighting contributes to the drama of the photograph, what the photographer has done themselves to improve the image, and look at the content of the photograph itself. So does it depict New Zealand in a meaningful way? Does it teach New Zealanders something about themselves? Does it tell us something about our society, our culture, our environment and the wildlife around us?
As well as having works from this year's finalists on display, a few favourites from years gone by are also on show, including my personal favourite, Toga Party. Yes, that's somebody's daughter.
The exhibition runs for 3.5 weeks and it runs over 4 weekends as well. And so you come down, you'll see the best of the images from the previous 6 years of the competition, as well as all of the finalists from the 2015 year and the time-lapse category images, all up on LCD displays, 6 of them all playing the videos. And so you'll be able to go through each container, see each of the images, and you'll be able to vote on your favourite one and actually contribute in your own way to the People's Choice Award. And the People's Choice Award is decided obviously by the people that visit the exhibition.
While many entries will be from top press photographers, the competition can also be a launching pad for enthusiastic hobbyists.
We're standing in front of an image by Canterbury Craig McKenzie. He shot this picture for the competition. He's an enthusiastic amateur. He shot it back in 2012. It was highly commended in the wildlife category, and that is a shot of a pied stilt, and he's gone on to do a story for New Zealand Geographic about stilts. A fully paying job as a professional photographer, and doing it in a world-class magazine. So.
The exhibition will be on display for the next 3 weeks on the corner of Manchester Street and Bedford Row. So be sure to get down and cast your vote for this year's People's Choice. Gordon Findlater, CTV News.
Residents in New Zealand's fastest growing region say they're happy with the way the district is developing, but not about everything. And now Selwyn residents say they want improvements.
While Selwyn's residents are getting happier with living in their district, roading and drainage issues continue to be a problem for many. The District Council's latest satisfaction survey shows little over a third of its residents are happy with the state of its rural roads and drains. Most are not happy with the district's diminishing rural character and would like roads and footpaths to be safer than they are. On the bright side, though, more than 80% of residents in New Zealand's fastest growing district are happy with organic waste collections, parks and reserves, playgrounds and pools. In fact, nearly all residents, 89%, used Selwyn's community pool, community hall or park facilities in the last year. 90% of residents overall consider Selwyn a great place to be, and more than 3/4 of residents say they feel a sense of community with people in their neighbourhood. Selwyn Mayor Kelvin Coe says that this is a sign that the council is managing the district's growth well and will have a better idea of what planning will be needed in the future. Over 1,000 residents were surveyed this year.
Still to come here on CTV News, Sport and the region's weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. Now here's Gordon again with a roundup of the weekend sport.
Canterbury got their ITM Cup campaign off to the perfect start on Saturday with a bonus point win over southern rivals Otago at Forsyth Bar Stadium. The boot of Tom Taylor got the visitors on the board early as the Cantabs elected to take the points on a series of penalties to take an early 6-0 advantage. Otago grabbed the first try of the afternoon 20 minutes in though, with Jack White giving the home side a narrow lead. That was the last Otago would see of a lead though, with Richie Mo'unga getting Canterbury's first on 30 minutes before Reid Prinsep got the team's second minutes later, helping the Red and Blacks to a 16-point lead at half-time. The second half saw Canterbury run in 2 further tries, enough to maintain a healthy lead throughout and take a maximum 5 points away from the trip, with the final score Canterbury 38, Otago 24. Well, still with rugby, where Saturday's soggy conditions brought 2 upsets in the UC Championship. The weekend's semi-final saw home advantage dismissed as 3rd and 4th place qualifiers St Bede's and Shirley Boys upset the odds to qualify for this weekend's final. CTV's featured match between St Andrews and St Bede's saw atrocious conditions at St Andrews as players battled in the mud. The wet didn't faze the visitors though, as Bede's ran in 3 early tries while Stack were guilty of a string of early handling errors. A try just before half-time saw a glimmer of hope for the home side, but it was Bede's that showed their class in the second half to take the win with the final score 22 points to 12. The weekend's other match between defending champs Christchurch Boys High and Shirley Boys saw Shirley topple the round-robin leaders by 25 points to 17. And finally tonight to ice hockey, and the Canterbury Red Devils will take a 1-0 advantage to Queenstown this weekend in their final series against the Southern Stampede. The first game in the best-of-3 series took place at Alpine Ice on Saturday, and Canterbury got the best of things, taking a 4-1 lead thanks to 2 goals from Alexander Polozov. The Stampede got back into things late, but Canterbury would take the first game with a late empty net goal, sealing a 5-3 win. The Red Devils now need just one win in Queenstown with Game 2 this Friday. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Findlater for CTV Sport.
And now it's time for the region's weather forecast.
Kia ora, Canterbury. Well, after a miserable rainy weekend, we had quite a nice way to start off the working week with that sun out and about. Light breezes for most. Today's highs 13 degrees for Timaru, 12 for Waimate, Temuka and Geraldine. Central Canterbury, 13 degrees was also shared by Christchurch, Darfield and Ashburton, 12 degrees for Leeston and Akaroa and just 10 degrees for Methven. Heading further north now, 13 degrees also for Kaikoura, Hanmer Springs, Amberley and Oxford, a little bit cooler for Rangiora and Cheviot on 12 and 14 degrees for Culverden. And over to the mountain ranges, 6, 7, 8 there for you guys. Tomorrow's temperatures and weather for Timaru, we're expecting northwesterly winds to come gusting on through. Cloudy skies but mostly sunny patches and 14 degrees for your high. Could be a few chance showers for your evening. And over to Ashburton, northerly winds for you. Nice fine dry day, 16 for your high there, quite warm for this time of year. Over to Christchurch, we're expecting these cloudy skies, quite a little bit of high cloud for your morning and sunshine for you, 15 degrees for your high, and again, could be a little bit soggy in the evening. And over to Kaikoura, northerly winds for you, 14 degrees for your high and 5 for your morning. Let's check out what's happening for the rest of the Canterbury region. Yes, we're seeing the sunshine and the cloud for most places, northwesterly winds, but a little bit of drizzle for you, Twizel. Central Canterbury, northerly winds for Akaroa and Leeston, both of you on 15 degrees, 14 there for Darfield, but cooler for Methven on 12 with a few showers for you and northwesterly winds. Further north, Hanmer Springs and everyone else here on 14 degrees. Northwesterly winds for everyone as well, and we're expecting that high cloud for you guys and sunshine. Over to the mountain ranges, a little bit of rain there for Lake Tekapo and Arthur's Pass, just 4 degrees for your high tomorrow. Let's check out the upcoming days. Wednesday, 11 degrees for everyone here. We are expecting a bit of early showers for most places and could be a little bit of rain for your evening as well on Wednesday with a bit of a southwesterly change. Thursday, these southwesterlies will be dying out and we are seeing that sunshine returning with a little bit of cloud as well. Upcoming days for the rest of the Canterbury region, we're seeing these northwesterly winds and these northerly winds really breezing through on Wednesday. Could be a few showers here and there, particularly in the morning and the evening for most places. Flipping over to Thursday, it's looking a bit drier and finer on Thursday. Sunny skies for most places. How we are seeing those southwesterlies, they should be easing throughout the day. Watch that rain for those inland basins though. So for the next coming days, we are expecting that warm weather to continue and that sun to come out, which is lovely for us. I hope you have a wonderful evening and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Thanks, Mercy, and that is CTV News for Monday. Have a great evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.